How's it going, guys? Back with another Mustang video. So I'm working on a little project on the Mustang today. Nothing too major, but I figured, I'd bring you guys along. I've been slacking on some, install videos and stuff like that. So, I'm not going to necessarily, install and all this stuff on camera, but I do have a couple things taken apart and stuff like that on the car. I'm working on, replacing and cleaning some of the O2 sensors on the Mustang. Over here, I have a couple of them taken out. You can see these are the stock ones. They're kind of like color-coded in a way. This is the driver's side upstream O2 sensor. It's not looking too bad, but I'm going to clean it up a little bit with some carburetor cleaner. This is the downstream. You can see they're a little different in size. But I was cleaning this one up, inspecting it and stuff like that. It was very, had a lot of carb buildup on here. The car is running a little rich, but I was inspecting this one and you can hear it kind of rattling. So, this O2 sensor right here is toast. I do have a couple new O2 sensors, ready to go into the car. So nothing too major. Let me crawl under the car and give you guys a little more visual. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm crawling in the car. Bear with me, it's a little bit of a tight fit. Right back here, we have the downstream O2 sensors. This is the passenger side one right here. I cleaned that one up. That one was pretty good. And then this one is the driver's side downstream, and you can see I replaced it with a different one. I am running the spacers. I know a lot of people ask questions about those. They're just little O2 spacers because I am running a catless system, so it does trick the system and keep these O2 sensors a little more cleaner. I have a little tiny bit of still wool in the, right here at the tip. That leads into the exhaust, because I do like this system a lot better because the whole O2 sensor ain't fully embedded in the exhaust, but it still allows it to read. It has a hole at the tip, just like your stock O2 sensor, so it's allowed to read all that stuff, but it just kind of tricks the system a little bit. You could pick these up, at your local auto parts store or anything like that. So if you guys have any questions or anything about that kind of setup, just leave it down in the comments and we can talk a little bit more about it, but I'm not going to get too much into it on this video. But let's, creep up here to the front. Like I said, bear with me. It's a tight fit. So if you could see right up in there, that green wire leading to the passenger side upstream O2 sensor. Let me see if I can get a better view. There we go. You see that plug way up there? This is the hardest oxygen sensor to get to on the car, especially if you are running, cats. I ain't, so, this is right here where you see this pipe. This is right where a cat would be. There are 4 on these cars stock, so it would definitely be a tight fit, and I don't think you would, be able to do this on the ground. But you could see right up there that plug that I need to get to. I messed with this O2 sensor a couple times, and it's always the most difficult one. Even running, no cats, it is a tight fit to get your arm in there. You have to do this all one-handed, so getting that, getting the plug out isn't necessarily the hardest part. Getting it back in is, what's difficult. And then right over here is where your driver upstream O2 sensor goes. And then you can see that little green plug up there. That's where it plugs in. This one isn't necessarily that bad. Maybe if you're running cats again, it might be a little more difficult, but this is where I took that O2 sensor out that I showed you earlier in the video. So I'm going to clean that one up with the carb cleaner and then slap it back in. And then I got to move on to that one. So that one's going to be pretty fun. Like I said, this is my hand. you know, you gotta, you know, finagle up in there and work with it and stuff, and then get the tool, you know, right down there. So let me get back up top and explain a little bit more and show you guys the tool that I'll be using. All right, now that we're back up top, this is the little, you know, oxygen sensor tool that I'll be using. Here. Let me get over on the workbench right here. I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. Okay, so it's just a little tiny tool that I picked up at Harbor Freight. It works pretty much with, you know, a lot of O2 sensors. It just slips on there, and then you can put your, you know, wrench on there and go to town on it. But, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be using. That's what I'm going to be doing. I still have to, you know, that, you know, driver's side upstream O2 sensor, I checked that all out. That one's fine. It just needs cleaned. But as for the passenger side upstream, I still got to check that one out. So far, I had to just replace one out of the 4. So 2 were good. 1 was bad so far, and then I still got to check that one. So I just wanted to show you guys what I'm working with. Nothing too major. The car is running a little bit rich. Like I mentioned in some previous videos, this car definitely does need to be retuned, and I'm going to within the next couple months. You know, I've been doing some research and stuff like that. I decided that I'm going to go with a Marty tune. You know, a lot of people recommended him. And, you know, I reached out to him. He gave me some information and stuff like that. You know, read up on the reviews and stuff like that. You know, searched him up on, you know, Facebook groups and stuff like that. He's highly recommended for these cars, and he works on these cars weekly. You know, so it just makes sense to go with him. And it was very, you know, good information that he gave. It's going to be a remote tune. So I look forward to working with Marty and Jeff. So that's the route that I'm going to be going. And then when I do that, obviously I'll hop on here and give you guys all the updates. So that's pretty much the route that I'm going. Like I mentioned in some previous videos, I know that this car is not to its full potential. So currently I'm going to be, you know, taking the car to meets and stuff like that. I'm not going to be getting the car into much boost, you know, because the car isn't, like I said, up to its full potential. So, yeah, I'm just working on, you know, tinkering on things here and there, keeping you guys updated and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the route that I'm going. The car is running a little rich, like I mentioned. You know, because I after the transmission cooler install, it definitely kept the transmission a lot cooler when getting into boost and stuff like that. It did help the situation, but it's not to its full, you know, potential, like I mentioned. So I know that something's not fully right with the tune. So yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm going. Hopefully, you know, cleaning these O2 sensors up and possibly replacing them helps. Well, I know it will help because that one was pretty gone. I don't know how long that one has been bad. So replacing that one is, you know, was definitely needed. So again, I'll show you. You can hear the rattle. You know, the inner, you know, functionality of this is definitely compromised. So that is definitely trash. This one, I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit. It's not too bad. Still pretty good. But yeah, so that's pretty much wrapping it up for this video, guys. If you guys want to know anything further, leave it down in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it, guys. And like always, thanks for watching this video.